Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation on the role of saturated fatty acid in cooking oil and their impact on hyperlipidemia. We are Group 8 and today we will be diving into the details of how these fats influence our health, particularly in the context of hyperlipidemia. Hyperlipidemia is a condition characterized by uplifting levels of lipids in the bloodstream. This typically includes high level of cholesterol or triglycerides. Hyperlipidemia increases the risk of developing cardiovascular disease such as heart disease and stroke. So what is saturated fatty acid? Saturated fatty acids are a type of fat characterized by their molecular structure, which consists of carbon atoms bonded to hydrogen atoms with single bonds. Common sources for saturated fatty acid in cooking oil include animal fats like lard and butter, as well as tropical oils such as coconut and palm oil. Saturated fatty acids are known to contribute to hyperlipidemia. Consuming high amounts of saturated fat can increase cholesterol levels, leading to a higher risk of heart disease and other cardiovascular issues. In 2002, the joint WHO or FAO expert consultation recommended that for prevention of non-communicable disease (NCDs), saturated fatty acid consumption should be less than 10% of a person's total energy consumption. Additionally, an analysis in 2008 indicated that the intake of saturated fatty acid ranged between 2% and 35%, with over 40 countries exceeding 10% of energy. This indicates the awareness level of the consequences of saturated fatty acid overintake is still low in the world community. Therefore, it's important to educate people to be mindful of the overall balance of fats in their diet.
Disadvantages of saturated fats. Firstly, raised cholesterol level. Consuming cooking oils high in saturated fats increases level of low-density lipoprotein cholesterol in the blood. This bad cholesterol can accumulate in the arteries, leading to heart disease and stroke. For patients with hyperlipidemia who already have high lipid levels, this is particularly concerning because it further increases their risk of cardiovascular problems. Secondly, increased risk of cardiovascular events. A diet rich in saturated fat is linked to a higher risk of heart attacks and strokes. Individuals with hyperlipidemia are already at an elevated risk, and consuming saturated fats make it worse by promoting atherosclerosis. This condition, where the arteries become clogged and inflamed, increases the risk of serious cardiovascular event. Insulin resistant. Saturated fats can impair the body's ability to manage blood sugar levels, contributing to insulin resistance. This not only heightens the risk of type 2 diabetes but also exacerbates inflammation throughout the body. For individuals with hyperlipidemia, this can worsen their overall metabolic health. Next, digestive issue. Cooking oil high in saturated fat are harder for the body to digest, causing bloating and discomfort. For those with hyperlipidemia, these digestive difficulties can compound other health problems, making it more challenging to maintain a balanced diet and healthy weight. And lastly, weight gain. Since saturated fats contain more calories per gram, they can quickly lead to weight gain if consumed in excess. Managing weight is crucial for hyperlipidemia patients, and the high calorie content of saturated fat can make it difficult. Weight gain can further exacerbate lipid abnormalities and increase the risk of cardiovascular events.
Now we are going to look over the advantages of consuming products with low SFA. Firstly, it is a low-calorie product which is beneficial for weight management, and it is also crucial for managing hyperlipidemia. Second, it can reduce LDL cholesterol levels. Lowering SFA intake can help reduce the LDL cholesterol levels, thus decreasing the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Next, it also helps in increasing the HDL cholesterol levels and also reduce triglycerides. Decreasing SFA intake can lead to favorable changes in lipid profiles, including reduced triglycerides and increased HDL cholesterol levels. Other than that, it also promotes overall health and well-being. On the other hand, it also can reduce inflammation markers associated with hyperlipidemia and CVD. SFA-rich foods can contribute to inflammation while opting for low SFA products. that might help reduce inflammation markers that is associated with hyperlipidemia and cardiovascular disease.
So this is 10 brands of cooking oil in supermarket that we analyzed.
Based on the data collected, the amount of saturated fatty acid in 100 grams of 10 cooking oils have been analyzed. The data is then being translated into a graph. Looking at the pattern of the graph, 7 out of 10 cooking oils have moderate amount of SFA, with 6 of these cooking oils has the same amount of SFA, which are 43 grams. These brands including Adelago, Sri Murni, Saji, Alif, Buro and Carotino. Most of these brands are typical oil brands used by Malaysian households. The highest peak of the line graph occupied by Loket Mas, which contained 44.6 gram of SFA, followed by Neptune that contained 44.2 gram of SFA. By this, it is confirmed that these two cooking oils have the highest amount of SFA and considered as the most unhealthy among these 10 cooking oils that has been analyzed. The healthiest cooking oil also can be determined by using this graph. If you look carefully on the graph, the lowest point on the line graph occupied by Smart Balance cooking oil. This means that this cooking oil has the lowest amount of SFA. From the observation as well, we could see that this cooking oil has the lightest color compared to the others. For patients with hyperlipidemia, it is recommended to choose this brand since low amount of SFA could reduce the risk of complication. Too much SFA consumption could impact on blood cholesterol, increasing TC and LDL cholesterol level and can be a risk factor for cardiovascular disease.
So, for recommendation, people should consume saturated fatty acid less than 10% per day. For example, if a person total calories intake per day is 1500 kilocalorie, that person can only consume 150 kilocalorie of saturated fatty acid. So, the amount of recommended oil per day is 3 to 4 tablespoons.